everybody. Welcome back to the Lemon's Pretty Cool podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Patrick Briggs.
And I'm Erin Briggs.
And today we are sitting down with another incredible guest. You may have seen him run amok on stage with his band Youngest and Only, destroy the drums with Jock, or make some of the catchiest pop music this side of the border, which drives the common man. He's a staple at local shows and a major player in the TikTok realm, showcasing a mix of his amazing talent and indigenous roots. Please welcome our amazing guest for today's episode, Andrew Joseph Stevens III. How are you doing, Andrew?
I feel so cool. Wow, that sounded awesome. I'm gonna re-listen to that every morning when I wake up. I'm like, yeah, I am pretty cool, man. Nice.
It's your daily affirmation.
What's that?
That's your new
Yeah, literally my daily affirmation.
So, Andrew, you've had a ton of amazing updates with music lately. You've had a recent signing with Lost Music Collective. Your band Youngest and Only released their long-awaited EP. You and your Drives the Common Man project recently put out Night Vision, this incredible single. We want to get into all that today because you do so much and are so very interesting. That's why we have you here. Don't mind, I do want to get back to the beginning a little bit. How did you get started in music and everything? Like, where did this all get started?
I don't know. It's one of those things that's just like, I don't really remember it like a starting, because it just was always like my dad played in bands when he was younger. My mom's always been like a singer, and like so they've always, like, when we were younger, like they were always like playing music, and like I'd always like wake up and there'd be like country music television on TV like all the time, and I'd just be like, there's just like VHS videos and pictures of me just like standing in front of the TV with like a little plastic guitar and like trying to mimic the people on the TV. So like, I don't know, like I've always just kind of like been super stoked on it, and always just been like, I want to make a band like my whole life. And then I ended up like learning guitar, and then being like, and then like 8th grade, I was like, yeah, I'll start a band with my friends. Cause like some people started learning instruments also, cause that kind of started slowing down, I think, in society for younger people learning instruments. But like the 3 people that I was like best friends with, we were all just like, hey, we know how to play like somewhat of an instrument, let's like make a band. So yeah, just like that. From then I just like, I never really like stopped trying to make music, which was cool.
When you were first, you mentioned the guitar. That seems to be like your main instrument most of the time with most of your projects. Yeah. Were you like me when you got started? Like when I was in elementary school, it was because like you mentioned only 3 other kids, it seemed like, in your school were doing that thing. But for me, it was like, oh, another kid suddenly is like, hey, can you play Holiday by Green Day, and I'd be like, no, what are you talking about? And it became this thing of like, oh, well, I can play that, and I was like, well, I need to learn guitar because everybody, like all these other kids in my class are learning this too, or something like that. Did you feel like it was a bit of a hey man, I can do this too, come on?
It was more, the funniest thing about it is more people were impressed that my friend could play like Through the Fire and the Flames on Guitar Hero on like hard like difficulty than it was me to play like a G chord, a C chord, and a D chord, and like be able to play them back to back. Like no one was impressed by that. They were more stoked on the score on Guitar Hero, and that always like really cheesed me. I hated that so much. And then eventually like people thought it was kind of cool that you're in a band and like could play music, because again, like no one else was really like doing it at the time. It was like, I feel like there's a time where everyone's trying to start a band, but even when we got into high school, we were the only band. Like we were the only people that actually liked music, really. Like there was like a few other people that like had played for sure, but like we were like the only band, and like people actually thought that was cool. Like we weren't like losers in high school, really, any of us, but like, so like a lot of people were like, yo, dude, that's cool. Like how's your band, bro? Like, yeah, punk rock. And we're just like, yeah, I guess so. It's pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Did they mention as well your natural singing voice? Like you've got this incredible voice. I'm sure they were like, that G chord's cool, but like, what if you sang with it, man?
I was too scared to sing in front of anybody for the longest time. I only sang in front of like my mom and my dad and like my stepmom, my sister. Me and my sister used to always like sing together a lot too. But I don't know. I was always scared of singing. And if I sang in front of people, I would be like, I'm so much better when I'm by myself. Like I sang so bad when people were just listening to me. Like that sucked. Like, oh my God. And then like, eventually you just kind of like don't care anymore. I don't know. Like it's still awkward sometimes. Like if someone's like, if there's like 2 people that are very close to me, they're like, sing a song, I'm gonna be like, that's terrifying. But if there's like a group of like 20 people I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I can sing in front of them. What the heck? Like, who cares? But I don't know. It's still nerve-wracking a little bit.
Did you have lessons at all for singing, or is it all natural? Just you know.
I don't know. Like I wouldn't consider it a lesson, but my mom's just like that type of person where like just sings all the time. And I noticed, especially recently, that like my singing kind of like sounds like hers, which makes sense. Like she's my mom, but it's like she always like taught me how to like breathe, like not like sit me down and say like, oh, like you're supposed to breathe like this when you sing or that. But she would actually just be like, she would hear me sing and she's like, you're gonna ruin your voice like that. Make sure you're like singing from your stomach and not your throat and doing this. So like she kind of saved my voice in like a way. But I think just like watching her or listening to her sing like my whole life, and like obviously like other like musicians and singers I've kind of tried to mimic over the years before kind of like finding what you kind of sound like. I think that was kind of it. I never like did any like real lessons or anything. Even with guitar, my mom gave me like 3 lessons on guitar and I was like, I can take it from here probably.
Speaking a little bit of that, you seem to play like a bunch of different instruments. How many instruments do you play?
I play like a few different instruments like mediocrely. I mean, like I love playing drums. I've always loved playing drums. I never like drums were one of those things I like picked up on like randomly. Like I air drum like my whole life to the point where like I hopped on a kit and I was like, I can actually like kind of play like beats and stuff. And then like I don't know, I got into like hardcore in high school and I was like, dude, I want to play drums in a hardcore band so bad. Like that'd be so fun. Like I even started this little like lame little hardcore band with my friends, but it was so bad. And then I kind of like gave up on it. And then like when Bob and Haley were talking about making a hardcore band, I was like, yo, I'll play drums. They're like, yeah, you can like rip the D beat like really fast. So like, that's cool. I'm like, I could barely do anything else, but I was like, you guys have to be okay with that. Like, I'm not actually like that great of a drummer, but like I can play like fast. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. So I was like, that was cool for me. I was like, my high school dream was completed there. Guitar, bass. I don't even know if this bass count. Like if you can play guitar, you can practically play bass. Ukulele. I like taught myself how to play the mandolin because the mandolin's the raddest instrument of all of them. Like I feel like the mandolin needs to be like put in every music genre now because it's just so good. I love it.
I agree with
That's
that.
pretty much it.
Aaron he needs to learn how to play
I
it.
have a mandolin, so I got to actually figure.
What? I'm so jealous.
Yeah, it's like it was the same thing. I went to a music festival and every band had a mandolin in it. And I'm like, I'm doing that. I gotta learn how to do that.
That's what I want. I love that.
Yeah, you're involved in a bunch of different musical projects as well. One of them being the Youngest and Only, which is the pop punk band you've been in since high school, right? Or you started it in elementary school with the same 3 guys.
I'll still tell you that I'm alright. I'm still good. Johnny!
Yeah, started 8th grade. It was me, Jack, and our buddy Nathan. And then Nathan moved away right when we went to high school. And then it was just a bunch of other drummers. And then I met Robert, who plays guitar, in like 9th grade. And well, we met in 8th grade immediately, but he didn't like me at all. He actually hated me, and then hated me for like a good amount of grade 9 too. But then I walked past him one day and he was like, yo, you listen to punk rock? Because he listened to punk and he thought I was going to be like, oh yeah, like My Chemical Romance. And I was like, nah, man, I like Bad Religion and Rancid and NoFX. He's like, really? And then like ever since then we've been like best friends, you know what I mean? So he joined up like a year later because he didn't even know how to play guitar, but we wanted him to be in our band so bad. So we're like, yeah, we'll wait for you to learn guitar. And then he learned. So he was like, yeah, you can join our band. And then, yeah. But yeah, it's pretty from 8th grade till like now we've been kind of doing our thing.
And you just released an EP. What has the reception been for that? Been pretty positive?
I think people who cared were kind of like, finally, like that's been like we wrote, like I said on a Facebook post, it's like the last song in the EP was written in like October of like 2015, I think, and it was almost gonna make it to the last EP we put up before that, Wherever the Park Ends, but we were like, no, like we have a lot of time, we can just record it like after. And so that's how old that is. And all the other songs were written like 2016, 2017. So we finally got it out, and it was just like a lot of people. We've been talking about it. Shows like we got an EP coming out soon, and telling our friends and showing our friends the songs, and they're like, "When's this dropping?" And we're like, "We don't even know. Like, it's not even done." Like, it took a long time on our part too. It was just like the worst. Like, we recorded it in 2017, and it just came out now, which is cool. But yeah, it took a while. But you know what I mean? Like, things happen, and you know, you get distracted, and you just, I don't know, it's stuff just slows down. And this is like way before COVID too. Like, COVID's not even like a part of it at all. Like, this is like 3 years before COVID, so I guess it doesn't really like make a difference. But yeah, I'm happy that it's out. People liked it, and I think people are like kind of just excited to like be able to listen to it finally.
With it being such a long wait for the release, like, was there, like, within that time, did you think about changing much about it, or is it pretty well like what you recorded back in 2017, and like you were just kind of waiting for the right time to be like, yeah, you know what, we're actually ready, let's do it now?
Well, the whole idea when we first went into to record it was that we were going to record an album, like a full album, and the 6 songs, I think it's 6 songs that are on the EP were the first half of it, and then I had the whole other 6 songs written as well. And then we ended up just being like, you know, I don't think we're ready for an album. Like, attention spans are so short as it is. Like, let's just release it as an EP. So we sat on the other songs that are also 2016, 2017 type songs. And it's funny because now we're just like, are we going to record those or just write new songs? Because like at this point, like, it's been like 4 years. I'm not even the same person I was then. I don't want to sing about stuff that I don't like really necessarily feel anymore. So it was like, that was the one question too, where I was just like, let's just write new songs. Like, I don't know. But it was mostly just like, we recorded it, and then it took us like a year for me to finish the vocals. Not like a year, but it took me a year to like go to the Sugar Shack and like finally record them. And then Simon like took some time to like work on them for a while, and we told like, no rush, like we're not really like trying to get this out. And then I had to finish halfway through it. I mean, it was like a year later after that, and I was saying I want to put like keyboards and synths over the songs, and so that made it more longer. So I was like, yo, Simon, wait, don't do anything crazy yet. I'm gonna send you these piano parts and these synths and whatever. And then finally, I think Simon messaged me. He's like, bro, like, you need to come to the studio and like force me to mix it, because like I've just been so busy, and like I don't want to keep putting it on the back burner. So just come to the studio and like watch me and help me mix it. Not help me, but like just tell me what you want, so we're not going Facebook messages back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Mm-hmm. And so like after all of that, it was like, okay, it's done. And then it was mastered. And then we're kind of sitting around being like, oh, well, let's shoot a video for it. So let's wait a little bit longer. So we shot a video with our buddy Josh Ford. And then we're like, okay, we'll wait a little bit longer. And then finally it was like COVID hit, and we were ready. And it was like, it's out July 6th. I think it was July 6th. It was out. It's going to be out. And then DistroKid like messed up like so bad. And they made it so that it released, I think, a week earlier than we like put it into DistroKid with, and not even under youngest and only. It's under like 2 artists, youngest, comma, only.
Oh.
So like, I remember and like, this is the big secret, is that it's been on Spotify since last July, but no one's noticed because it's been under a different artist. So that when we actually released it, I was like, we're not going to change that. We'll just tell people finally that it's actually out, or it's been out forever. And then after that, at least me, I lost my patience with the whole thing. I was like, as if this EP couldn't be cursed enough, whatever, put it out there. I'm over it. Like, I'm super over it. And then like, when it came down to it, like a couple weeks ago when we released it, I was just like, I was excited. I was like, it's good to finally have these songs out, because they like meant a lot to us at the time, and they still do. Mm-hmm. But it was just finally like, we can actually like write new songs and be like a new band now. So it was good. It was stressful, but it was good.
It's that weight off the shoulders, you know, like, yeah, clean slate.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
yeah.
You mentioned you did a music video. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's an acting debut, as you mentioned, on all.
Yes.
You made it with Josh Ford, you said. You've worked with him on like jock music videos, I think, and things like that. Your sister starred in it as well, I believe Aaron was telling me, right?
Yeah, she played the clown. It was adorable.
What was it like making
The
that
best part of
video? Was that fun?
Oh, it was so fun. The funniest part about it was, and I was telling this to my friend the other day, is Michaela, she had like a toe surgery like 2 weeks before, not even probably, it's probably like a week before. And we had her just running around and doing all this stuff. So if you look at certain clips in the video, she's like for real, like limping, like because her toe was so bad still. And I watch it and I just laugh so hard. And it's like me and my sister look pretty alike too. Like we've always just like said that we're twins, even though we're like 3 years apart. So like when she's in the clown, it's weird. I'm kind of just like coexisting with this like clown version of myself in the video too. It was like super weird, but like it was so funny, like because it was so last minute. Like our clown had flopped, and I like messaged Mikhail like 2 days before. I was like, "Yo, do you want to be in our video?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Cool." And it was just like the funniest thing ever because like she's hilarious and like she was gonna like do whatever and like she just made it funny. It was super awesome to have her do it. But it was fun. I love Josh too. Like we all got along really good while filming it and stuff.
Josh does like really professional looking videos, so it looks fantastic.
Yeah, and he's just like he has like such a vision too. Like he's like, because me, I don't really like feel the control of being like, I want the video to be like this. Like we're so close now that it's like I'll send him a song and be like, yo, come up with something sick, and I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like because he has a good vision for it, and we're good friends now, and I think he understands like what I also want to. So yeah, I have a lot of love for him.
Do you have plans to maybe like once the lockdown's over and maybe a bit past COVID and everything to maybe get back on the youngest and only train and like, you know, maybe do more touring, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, Patrick texted me today. He's like, because he's looking at the announcement that I put it on Facebook yesterday. He's like, does this mean like you're not in Wino anymore? I'm like, bro, like I'm gonna be in this band till the day I die. Like I'm never gonna leave this band no matter what. You know what I mean? But it's like that's like the stressful part too. Is like it's easy right now being able to just like record and write songs in your room that you don't have to worry about other people playing parts for. So like when it opens up and they're gonna be like, yeah, like let's do Drives to Comment shows. I'm like, how? Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how to like I have a drummer in mind, I have like a guitarist in mind, I have like a bassist in mind and stuff. It's just more like getting them all together and like figuring out how to play those songs live where they were never written to be played live. You know what I mean? So we'll figure it out hopefully. But I do want to play with Youngest and Only again. Like that's like. Just that's always been fun for me, and it's always like that's the thing. It's like that Youngest and Only's been the like only one of the only consistent things in my life since I was like 13 years old. You know what I mean? So the thought of not doing it anymore, like it makes me like kind of scared. And even doing like solo stuff was really scary because you don't have your best friends kind of there to be like, yeah, we all sucked at the show, or yeah, like this as a whole sucked, but we as a whole sucked. Whereas now it's like, nah, you suck, bro. Like it's only you that sucks.
Before I had other shoulders to cry on as well. We could
literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, talking a bit about your solo project with Drives the Common Man, how did you come up with that name?
I started the Drives the Common Man thing when I was like 15, I think, or 15 or 16. Cause I had just got like recording like an audio interface, and I just wanted to start like writing like an acoustic punk kind of EP. And then I realized that I wanted to do something that was like, okay, for the name, sorry. It was like a Bad Religion song called Anxiety. And I was like chilling at home one day, like trying to find a name for this like solo project. And then I heard the song. And then it just said like Drives the Common Man. I'm like, oh, that's cool because it can be kind of like a name, but it's also like the phrase of like what drives the common man. I just like that's pretty cool. And then I didn't really like think of changing it after that. I don't think I was planning on it, but it just kind of stuck. I like it.
And like recently, maybe with lockdown, you've grown really on TikTok, right? You've kind of over like 100,000 followers on TikTok. How did you like kind of blow up there, and how's that platform different from other social medias?
So weird. It was so weird. I don't even know. It was like the most random thing in the world, like for real. Like I don't know. I was one of those people that jumped on TikTok and was like, "This is stupid. This isn't Vine." Because like I ride for Vine. Like Vine was so good. Like I loved Vine so much, and I hated like I don't know. I think it's just your punk rock mentality of just being like, "Oh well, like this is new and popular, and this sucks." But I was like, "Oh, whatever." But then I got into it, and then I don't know, like for whatever reason, I was like demoing one day and I realized that I could play guitar and record the guitar and my vocals at the same time. And I was like, oh, I just learned that Harry Styles song. I'll maybe just record a cover of it, like put it on Facebook or something like that. But then I was like, no, I'll put it on TikTok because I don't want to learn the whole song. I'll only do like the 30 seconds of the song that I know. And then I did it. And then I like posted it before I went to bed. And this is like no joke at all. I like fell asleep and then I woke up in the morning and I checked my TikTok and like nothing had happened, like no views, nothing. And then I was like, whatever. And I'm not kidding you. I fell asleep again for maybe like 30 to 45 minutes. And then all of a sudden it was like 99 notifications. And then like all these likes and comments. And I was like, oh my gosh, I woke up my girlfriend at the time. I was like, yo, look at this. Like, this is crazy. And then I was like, with my friend like all day and I'm on my phone and I'm refreshing it every like 10 seconds and there's 3 more notifications, 4 more notifications. I'm like, this is crazy, yo, I'm TikTok famous. I have like 100 followers or something. And it was wild. And then I started getting all this anxiety. I was just like, well, what's my follow-up going to be? Like, am I going to make another one? Like, what am I going to do? Like, this could be such a good, like a promotion for Night Vision. Cause at this point, Night Vision had been like finished and written and like everything had been like, I was going to start the solo project and I was like, this is perfect. And then like, you know, for days it would be like growing and growing. And then I was like, oh, what's my follow-up going to be? And then I just kept making videos. And then I think the first one after that was like a Louis Capaldi cover. And then that one like blew up in the native TikTok community kind of. And then like all these like big native TikTok creators started like commenting and I was like, holy crap, like this is crazy. Cause I've been following that whole like native TikTok thing, like when I first got TikTok. And then the Dua Lipa one was like out of nowhere. Like I posted it like, and then within like the first hour, it was at like 1,000 likes, which was crazy. And then all of a sudden it's just growing and then people are sharing it and it started being on like Snapchat, like story things that like other people make, like Huffington Post or whatever. I'm like, this is so crazy. Like, oh my God. Like, and then like, I don't know, like it just, after that, I made a few more videos that did pretty well. And then I was like, I don't know. I just kind of kept going with it, but it was cool. I kept getting stoked every time. It was like 10,000 followers. I was like, no way, it's not gonna get better than that. Like 50,000 followers. I'm like, this is crazy. And then once it hit 100,000, I think that's when I like capped out, and I was like, I don't need to make a video for a while. And then I kind of fell off from where I used to be in like October and September. But it's still going like decently strong. But it was a weird experience.
What's the weird? It's just so interesting to think about, right? Like Aaron was saying. You know, there's other platforms where you've definitely like promoted your music before. Do you know why like this platform, do you think, was the one that just like took hold of you?
Well, I think the main thing was like which was cool is that I don't think there's any other native creators on TikTok that were doing that. Not like no one's doing what I do, but it was like there's a lot of comedy and then there's a lot of educational stuff in the realms of like native TikTok. And then but like I was just kind of doing like white people music like top 40 hits, and people started noticing and they see the braids and they're just like, oh this is cool, like representation and stuff like that. And then other native TikTokers get kind of big on it and they'll share it around and they were like hyping me up, and like so I kind of like joined that community. And yeah, I don't know. It was just, that was the big thing for me, is like, I didn't like join it to be like, oh, this is going to be native TikTok, but like, it's cool to be a part of it too, because a lot of things I didn't even think about, like the representation thing. It's just like, it's cool. Cause a lot of people like, even like, there's like heartwarming things that have happened through TikTok where people like message me and be like, yo, like I'm native and like my kid, like is stoked seeing you do this and get all these views, and it's like he feels like he's gonna pick up guitar, like he wants to pick up guitar and like, you know what I mean, grow his hair out just like you. I'm like, that's so weird, like you never think that like that could happen. I'm like, because like I know like me, and I'm just like, I'm such a dork, like that's so weird that people are actually like, I don't want to like inspired maybe, but like just in a way that they're just like, they see it and it hits them in a way, at least, you know, at the very least it hits them in a way. And I think that's like the best part. I was like, I've already profited from this. I don't need to make money from TikTok. Like, there's people that actually like what I do and they like my voice, and even a good amount of those people are excited to see what I do with like my own music too, you know what I mean?
So you
Super weird.
so you kind of like covers of top 40 stuff. How do you kind of choose what song you want to do? And then you also usually remix it and add in either some other instruments or change it up and have different musics. How do you kind of choose what you want to put out there?
At first it was just like songs that I thought were rad that I feel like I could make a cool cover to. And then when the Dua Lipa song came, I didn't even try to make it like this, but a lot of people were like, oh, this is like Pop Goes Punk, like Dua Lipa remix. I'm like, just because there's electric guitar, it's making punk. But like, I was like, oh, whatever, sure. Like, I'll roll with that. That's pretty cool at the same time. And then there was songs that I knew that would hit in the whole native TikTok community, like the Indian Car song and like Come and Get Your Love, and like I knew those songs would do well, and I wanted to do those to be like, you know what I mean, like put on for my people a little bit instead of just like playing like the top 40 stuff. And those did really well too, like really, really well. And then I don't know, I took a chance and did like an original one time and did like this Beaded Earring song that like, it was cool because all these native women and people were just like making duets of it with, or using the sound when they're showing off their earrings and like dancing and stuff. I'm like, that's so rad. Like, that's so cool. But after that, I was kind of like, I started doing like the big TikTok songs and started covering some of the big TikTok sounds and adding the flute or something just to make it kind of cool, and like add like the whole dance hall beat on a lot of them just to make them like fun. And then I kind of like, I hit a point where I was like, I have no idea what to do anymore. I have no good songs at all. And then I think my last good idea was the Iris Ed Sheeran kind of mashup. And that was the first video I've had since like September that like got over 10,000 views or likes. So I was just like, oh, thank God. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to feel validated by stuff like that, but like in a way you're going to, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's always just like whatever, like I'll hear a song, maybe I'll be like, oh, that'd be cool to do this on or remix it in this way. I always have like an image of it in my head kind of.
When you are doing these remixes, you mentioned like I've watched those videos, you have like that flute. It seems like you like mix in some sort of sounds like of your native culture as well. Like, was that a decision made because of when you realized that there is like a native TikTok and everything, or was that just like, I just want to play more of these like instruments that represent me and my culture a bit more?
I'm definitely not going to say like a no, because it's definitely like, when you know that you're like following, a lot of your following is native, it's not necessarily like, oh, I have to please them, I'm going to post this. It's more just like, oh man, like it would be so cool to kind of like add a bit of like I don't really go off on TikTok about a lot of the political things that a lot of native TikTokers do. That's never really been my thing on my platform, but like I do want to like uplift and like what is it, decolonize, they say, some of the songs, and to add the flute is like such a cool thing. And like I love playing it too, and I haven't really got a chance to show people that I play it, so it's like a flex a little bit, like, to be honest. Like, I'm not gonna lie about that. Just be like, yeah, I can play this, just so you know. And it's also just like, well, there hasn't really been like an aspect of that in my music ever really before. And so it was more like me kind of like reintroducing myself or my music to my culture, or vice versa. And it just sounds badass. I don't know, it just sounded cool. Like, I remember in the Beaded Earring song, it sounded cool, and then I did it in like the cover of that How to Save a Life thing, and I just loved the way it sounded. I felt like it fit the vibe perfectly, and it's like, it has like such an uplifting sound, even if in like a sad setting. So I don't know, it's just a cool instrument that like I was happy to just utilize like in any way that I could. I haven't in a while. I should probably start doing that again.
Do you feel like, not even just on TikTok, but like your culture has influenced all of your music in general?
I mean, like, not like in direct ways for sure, but like in ways that like I want to use my music to like kind of like heal in my own little way, whether it's like I'm using my music as like a journal in little ways like that. Obviously I'm not using like hand drums or the flutes and like Youngest and Only music, and I never really was, but just like being proud of playing music and being Indigenous, just it's always in the back of my head. And like, you know what I mean? Like going to shows and like having my braids out because there was really not a lot of Native people like in the scene. You know what I mean? Just like in ways like that. But in more recently, I started to like sample like drum groups, especially from my like community, like back in the East Coast, into my like solo stuff music. So it's cool to like now like directly put my culture into my music rather than it just being like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing because no matter what music I'm making, it's going to be Indigenous music because I'm an Indigenous person. You know what I mean? That was always my mindset. It's like, I don't need to go off and like, you know, you do what all the other Native artists are doing because, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, it's still Indigenous music. So I don't have to like really try too hard. You know what I mean?
Speaking on that, like not having to try too hard to like really be yourself and everything. You know, I wonder if this is an all right question, but it's just like, what's it like to be just like a Native Indigenous person in living in London, you know, in the music scene? And, you know, like, do you find that there is like you notice like a difference or something like that?
I think it's cool because thank God that like punk rock and hardcore, which is kind of the scenes I've been pretty much a part of for like the past like few years, is like a very like open community. Like you don't really have to worry about like going to a show and seeing a racist, because like if there's a racist at the show, they've probably got their ass kicked already or kicked out at some extent, you know what I mean? So I never really like thought about it in like an oppressed way. I was always just like, I don't know, like it's cool. Like I just, like I said, like it was cool going to shows and like knowing that like I'm putting on for my people, you know what I mean? When there's like not a lot of other people doing that. London as a whole, I know there's a lot of issues, but to feel safe in the scene and to feel respected in the scene and have people be like, oh, like even like after a while, people are like, oh, I didn't even know you're Native. Like, that's so cool, blah, blah, blah. And then actually meeting other Native people in the punk rock scene, you're just like, oh, crap, I didn't even know. Like, it's cool that we're all here and we're doing this because, like, you know what I mean? It's just cool to have.
Friggin' awesome.
So you just released your new song, Night Vision, with the music video, which is now sitting at over 12,000 streams on YouTube. What do you think the reception for that was like?
I was really good. It was better than I thought. I was really afraid it was gonna flop, and like I didn't want to feel like that because I was just like, I want to be like that guy who's like, I don't care about my music. But at the same point, you're like, if it's your life, it's kind of like important that like people, it's reaching people to an extent. You know what I mean? That people like it at least. But I think, yeah, it was cool. It was kind of like, it was more nerve-wracking because it was like original music and it wasn't like a 30-second cover on TikTok. It was like actually like me, and I was like, what if people don't even care? You know what I mean? What if people just want the covers? But to an extent, I think that's what it was. It's like I have 100,000 followers on TikTok. You'd think that like if all of them were interested in my original music, I'd probably be in a different kind of position right now. But I'm grateful that the portion of those followers that did end up making that jump to liking my original music did. And I think that was so rad. And then people were like, because when I was teasing it on TikTok, people were still liking it and commenting like, oh, I'm so stoked for like, this is gonna be so rad. Like, I was like, yes, like that's cool. And like, I even made a video last night answering a question on TikTok, and people were in the comments, man, like, yo, I listen to Night Vision every day. Like I listen to Night Vision on repeat. Like someone's like, I listen to it every time. Like my friends in the car, if someone hasn't heard it yet, I like show it to them. I'm like, that's so cool. Like, that's so rad. Like I didn't expect like to blow up off of Night Vision. I was always thinking, oh, that'd be rad if that happened, but like, I'm not going to get my hopes up for anything like that. But at the very least, people liked it and people still listen to it. Like the streams keep growing every day. So that's, to me, is like awesome. And that's like a dream come true, honestly, because like, it's different from like Youngest and Only, where we're like, oh my God, like we have 1,000 streams on the Spotify. Like that's sick. Like cool, like people actually listen to it. Like that was always good enough for us, and that's always been good enough for me. So to see it like surpass even that is like, it's just cool. It's interesting.
You deserve it, man, just so you know. So hell yeah.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
And then you were also recently signed to the Lost Music Collective. What does that entail, or like what does that mean for your future of music?
When I started talking to those guys, I was talking to some people in Toronto at one point, and the communication line had kind of like got a little bit different and weird, and I don't know what was happening. And then I had a manager at the time, and then me and my manager split ways. So I started kind of just being like, you know what, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna kind of navigate the way I'm gonna navigate naturally. You know what I mean? Like DIY ethic. And then I my friend's ex-girlfriend, she's a good friend of mine still. She's like, I'm interning at this label, like what you call it. These guys wanna like, they like Night Vision, they want to hear a song. And I sent them another song that should be coming out soon in the next couple months or so. And they were like super stoked on it. And they were like, and that's the Lost guys. And they were like, hey, like, yeah, we want to talk to you about like, you know, like what we can do for you, like how we can kind of like push your voice a little bit. And I think just the fact that they were like excited about my music and they were excited about what I was doing is what made me happy, because they're not like a big major label or this big label that everyone knows. And I knew that going into it, but I knew it's better to join a team of people that are excited about you and that want to help you, like that genuinely want to help you, than to just join someone who's going to give you a bunch of money and not care about you. You know what I mean? And so they're helping me out with what they can and stuff like that. And like all the stuff that I really don't have a mind for. So it works like well on both ends. You know what I mean? Like, cause I don't want to say I'm like already established, but it's like, I already, even before Night Vision, there's a good amount of people that had like heard of my name and seen me, especially in like the Native community around, like everywhere practically, which is really cool. But so yeah, they're just gonna help me out any way that they can, and I like those guys a lot, and I have a good like vibe about them, and their team's great. Like a lot of the bands that are on that roster are like a lot of pop punk bands, and I thought it was cool too, because I remember I told them early on, I was like, I like working with punk rockers because like we all have that same kind of like mindset of like, not purity, but it's like they want it to be real, and they want you to do what you are going to do, and they want it to be as you as possible. So to work with, like when starting working with them, I felt good with them. So I'm happy to be working with them.
Is this your first like experience with any sort of record label or anything?
Kind of, yeah. I remember a little bit before Night Vision started, I had talks with some people in Toronto, and they're pretty cool. I have nothing bad to say about them at all. It's just kind of like it either wasn't a good fit, or it just wasn't working, or anything like that. So I've had those conversations a little bit before, but I felt better talking with Lost. I felt like it was more natural, and I felt like it's a better place that I fit. Yeah, but not like a lot. I wasn't like getting talked to by different labels here and there. It was never like that. And like I'm kind of glad it wasn't, because that would have just made everything more stressful and not as fun.
The recent signing, did that lead to the recent feature that you were on? I don't remember the artist but you just released, there's a song this past Friday that you were featured on. Some incredible singing and
Yeah.
that you did. Was that through
Thank
that collective, or was that?
No, that conversation started happening like I might have already signed something, because I signed something like a couple weeks ago. It was just all about the announcement, was just Friday. But no, I got reached out by this guy Ethan, or Talon. He's from my nation. He's a Mi'kmaq person from I can't even remember what community he's from. But we and him had always been in talks, sending beats back and forth to each other, and just talking. And he has a clothing brand. I've repped his clothing brand a bunch before, and he was like, hey, like I'm producing this record for this other Mi'kmaq rapper, and we want you to feature on it. And I was like, bet. Like I love hip hop, I love like rap music, and I don't really get to like flex my chops on that a whole lot, obviously, but like but I was like, yeah, for sure. So like he sent me the beat, and I think it was pretty quick. I just like quickly like kind of wrote a verse, sent it back to him, be like, is that good? And they're like, yeah, it's rad. And then that was it. But yeah, that was just me talking with them. I told Lost for sure. I was like, yeah, like is this cool, like if I like do this? And they're like, yeah, no, obviously, like it's cool. And I'm like, cool. And then that was it. But yeah, I liked how it turned out. It's pretty cool.
Man, I think that it's just sweet because it lends itself to like just seeing that. It's just so exciting for like what you can do in future. It's just kind of like yeah, doesn't really matter. I'm gonna do whatever, you know. Like I'm gonna put out incredible pop music. You can feature me on whatever song you want. Like I'm gonna like it's just so it feels so open. Like you can do whatever.
Yeah, that's how I wanted it to be. And I remember like at the beginning, I was like, I had Night Vision. That was the only song I really had written for the solo project. And I remember talking with the manager at the time, and I started I started sending her all these other songs that were a little bit different, more like kind of had the Caribbean kind of dance hall vibe, which is one of my favorite styles of music ever. And I was like, I want to start writing music on that. And they were kind of like, well, you should probably stick with like the Night Vision sound. I'm like, and then I keep saying this, but my punk rock mindset was like, no, like I'm going to make whatever I want to make. Like, if you're not going to deal with that, then like, that's a problem. You know what I mean? So that's where with Lost is they're stoked on that. There's like, I have a song that's kind of like a surf rock song. And then like a lot of the other ones are like along those like pop kind of bouncy kind of Caribbean, like dance hall rhythm type things. So like, I like I feel like every artist says this and I hate saying it, but it's like, I like all types of music and like, but like I do. And I do want to make other types of music because that's what makes it like fun. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's like, I want people to know that I like listen to those music, you know what I mean? And not in like a pretentious way, but it's like, music is such a thing that like, makes me who I am as a person. So it's no different from how you show yourself to the world or the public. You want people to know that that's who you are, you know what I mean? You want to be real, and all those things are what make me who I am. So it's like, I want those things to come out because people don't really know me. Like a lot of people don't really know me, but they'll know at least a little bit about me, like from the music. So I try to be like as me as possible, I guess. Me. Wow, I said me so many times.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, man. We're not talking to anybody. Speaking of just like how much music you do and everything, we mentioned Jock earlier. You play drums in that band.
It's a kick to the chest, the skull burning on rep. I'm clawing at my ribs, tired fingers digging in. Always at the worst times, always thinking that I'm fine. I do not control me, I don't know my own mind.
Do you have any plans right now for future releases with those guys? I know quarantine has kind of halted practice a little bit.
We recorded a single a couple months back. I think November we recorded a single, and I was so out of practice. Oh my gosh, my arm was killing for like 6 days after that. It was terrible. But I don't even know what's going on with that. I've always been out of the conversation with what happens and the what have you nots with Jock. Not out of the question. Like I feel like my forte is just playing drums, really, and I've never been into like I love hardcore, but I've never been about the whole like anything I say doesn't probably help them at all anyways. So I think that we're gonna be on like a compilation. I think it might even be out already. I don't even know. That's the thing, is I actually have no idea. But yeah, no, we're just trying to like write. I demoed out a lot of Jock songs and started writing more for Jock over maybe like the beginning of quarantine. So me and Haley were kind of bouncing back ideas back and forth. And same with Drew and Bob and yeah, Skylar even. Actually, the whole band, we were just trying to write. But it's kind of, yeah, like you said, it's kind of on hold right now. We can't really be like jamming. We can't really be like recording anything, which kind of sucks. We were at a good place in November where everyone was like, okay, like we'll wear our masks. Like we're recording off the floor, so none of us have to be near each other anyway. So it was what it was. But yeah, I hope things pick up again and we can record more and write more and stuff like that. Cause like Jock is very important to me. I love Jock, and it gives me an opportunity to like play drums, which is also like really important to me too.
Get some of that energy out, you know?
Yeah, literally. Like it's very therapeutic.
Now, so Jock, there's obviously going to be future plans. It seems, did you want to mention, is there any like anything you wanted to announce? Obviously, this is a great opportunity to give us a scoop, but anything you wanted to announce at all about like future releases or plans or anything like
Thursday, like this coming Thursday, I'm gonna shoot a video for my second single, As Drives the Common Man, which is exciting. I'm excited, and it's a little bit different than Night Vision, but I think it's kind of like along the same lines of like big chorus, like catchy, like lyrics or whatever. But that pretty much just that, and yeah, there's stuff going on that's like I'm trying to like dip my toes into acting. I can't really talk a lot about that, but that's just something that I've been like having conversations with people about, which is kind of cool. Like so weird. Like again, like it's like the TikTok thing is like this is so random and like, but it's like something cool that I've always wanted to like do. Really no announcement for that. I'm just saying that's something that's like kind of interesting and cool. Yeah, no, nothing really. Just trying to like work hard and like make sure that like I'm staying focused on music and I don't know, pumping out those TikTok covers.
Is there anything before we kind of move on to London questions? Do you want to like plug? How can people find you if they want to see your music or find you on TikTok?
I'm confident now that if you look up Drives the Common Man on like most social media platforms or streaming platforms, I'll probably be able to be found. So like, I'm not gonna like be like Drives _the_ comment here. And then on here, it's like, you'll probably find it if you look up Drives the Common Man. And yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to like social media and the streaming stuff.
That is so
But
cool. I know how cool that is. That like most people when we ask, hey, do you want to put socials? They're like, da, 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 and you go, this is what you went. You went, you type it, and you'll find it.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
yeah, literally.
I'm pretty big. It's there. You'll find it.
That's what gets me. Some people like comment on TikTok. They're just like, yeah, like what do I look up to find your music? I'm like, just look up my like name. I don't know. It'll show up.
Should be.
It should be the first thing that shows up when Drives the Common Man comes up.
Perfect. And then your EP for Youngest and Only is Under the Youngest.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing I should probably really oh my god, it's so confusing. If you look up, no, don't look up Youngest and Only. Pretend the band's names, tell me what to say, and it'll show up there. But it'll not be under Youngest and Only. It's so pathetic.
Re-upload.
Yeah.
Re-upload.
Yeah.
All right, so, Andrew, we are going to get into a couple London questions, just because we are London's podcast, and we want to do, feed our base as best we can.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we're going to ask a couple of those, and then we'll get into a game, and then we'll call it a day. Thanks again for taking the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Oh man, I appreciate you guys having me.
For London, what is your favorite place to eat in the city? Favorite place to eat?
Oh man, Master's Choice Pizza in Westmount. Very underrated, but it's the best pizza in the town. I can guarantee you that.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah,
Master's Choice, eh?
Master's Choice. It's a place very hidden in the neighborhoods of Westmount that is just like, we've been going there since we were like so young, and we know those people so well, and like they know what we're gonna order, and they like bless us even sometimes, and like we talk to them, and they just have like the best pizza, not even because like we like them and we're all like die hard for Westmount, but it's just like I eat a lot of pizza from everywhere, and it's like I'm never as satisfied when I have when I have Master's Choice. And it's just like this little place, like just kind of hidden in Westmount. And it's just like, it was always really close to all of us. We all lived pretty close to each other, and we'd always be like, we'll link up at Master's Choice to get the donuts, because they had these like deep fried donuts with like powdered sugar on it. That was like the holy grail of our adolescence. You know what I mean? But yeah, Master's Choice Pizza without a doubt.
And you might have kind of already answered this, but we are the city of neighborhoods. So what would you say is your favorite neighborhood in London?
Westmount till death. Always. That's the best part. I don't know, like I've seen a lot of London. Like I'm pretty sure I've probably touched every corner of London, but like I'm biased too, because like Westmount's like my home. Like to me, we always say we're from Westmount. We don't say we're from London. We say we're from Westmount because like just the neighborhoods have always just like we have so many memories there, and we all have this thing where we get this weird uncomfortableness of when we leave Westmount, like the areas of Westmount. It starts becoming unfamiliar, even if we're familiar with the other areas, there's always just like this sense of home in that area. And that's all of our friends have really kind of like agreed upon, is that like, we like, this is like our home, you know what I mean? Especially for me, like I feel like I don't live in Westmount currently, which sucks, but I feel that big disconnect of living in the East End, being like, I don't feel like I'm home. But when I come to Westmount to drive through or visit my sister or something like that, I'm always like, oh, like it's like a breath of fresh air. It's really rad.
Your favorite venue to watch a show at? We should specify this like we did. Favorite is kind of a two-parter. Your favorite venue to watch a show, your favorite venue to play a show.
To watch a show, Call the Office. To play Call the Office for sure. And I don't even know if that's even a place anymore, is it?
It's technically still a place, but I mean, we'll see after after everything goes down.
Yeah.
Reopens and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Call the Office, man.
Yeah.
That's such a good place. I love that.
Hopefully someone.
It's like iconic, you know what I mean?
What is a London small business that you probably couldn't live without, that you like go to all the time?
Ooh, I'm gonna plug my sister. I bought a lot of stuff from my sister, but like I think Michaela has like just the raddest like vision. Like it's cool. We're like a power duo of siblings where like she does the craziest stuff like visually, and then I'll do the music stuff. But she's like, whenever I go to her house, she's always showing me these new things, and she's getting better every time. So I think just for me to see her grow and to see her flourish and grow, and do all these things is like, I need that for me, just because like she's so close to me and she's like so important to me, like, and just in general to like know that like she's like the plug for like all these cool like beading things, t-shirts and all that stuff. It's like, you know, I'm biased, I think, for sure, but I think if she wasn't my sister, I'd still be supporting her and stuff like that. But yeah, the work that she does is like crazy good, and it's like it's cool that she's like my sister too, you know what I mean? It's like you're like super proud, you're like, haha, that's my sister, you know what I mean?
I love Flourish and Grow as well. I have a t-shirt and I wear it all the time. I love it. So
yeah,
great. So
she's killing it. She works hard.
Do you have a hidden gem of the city? That could be person, place, thing, anything like that. A hidden gem.
Oh man, I have two really good ones. Can I say two?
Yeah.
Okay. One of them is there's this place, I think it's kind of like in the border of Westmount and Byron. And I'm so happy I get to tell the story now. Okay. It's like there's like this like subdivision, and there's a creek. And in the creek, there's this pole that sits in the water. And when it's dark and me and my friends are not having a good day or not having like a really good time, we go to we hop this fence into this creek, and we go to and there's a big hill of big rocks or even little rocks. And we throw rocks at this pole, but it's completely dark. So you can only see the reflection of the pole. So you're throwing, hoping you're going to hit it. And when you hear the ding, it's the most satisfying thing ever. Like it's literally the most satisfying thing ever. And we'll just, as we're throwing it, we're just talking about life, figuring out solutions to problems we're having, or just letting something out. So anytime we walk away from playing rock pulls, what we call it, we're always just feel much better. And it's always just been like this very like healing thing within like the Boone Squad kind of family of like my friends. And that's like one really good hidden gem. The other hidden gem is just Jesse Davison's Park in Westmount, where I just always go there to breathe sometimes. I went there not that long ago just to like stand and lay in the snow and just like breathe and just like feel good, you know what I mean? But yeah, those are my two.
Those are good ones.
I agree. Great answer.
Level Creek.
Yeah, that like
literally, it's the best.
It's a
funny story. I just want to add too. One time they knew that we were doing it, and they put a pylon on the pole. And I'm not kidding you. I stripped butt naked and I swam out to the pole, and I took the pylon off, and then we played rock ball. It was awesome.
So doesn't shoes over in the winter time then, eh? Like you're not diving in there in the cold, are you?
Oh no, I did that in the summer. I probably would have done it in the cold though. That's how hard I ride for rock.
So we have one final game to play. If past listeners, you know what time it is. It's time for this
or that.
Okay, cool. Quick round game. We're gonna ask you a series of like yes or no, like choice questions. You pick one. No time to think about it. Just quick answers, and we keep going. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Ready. Western Fair Market or Covent Garden Market?
Western Fair Market.
Masonville Mall or White Oaks Mall?
Masonville Mall.
Sunfest or Home County?
Sunfest.
Prince Albert's or Stobies?
Prince Al's for sure.
Would you rather go to a Knights game or a Majors game?
Knights game.
We've got Victoria Park or Springbank Park?
Springbank Park.
Would you rather a house show or a venue show?
Oh, house show every day.
And Dundas Place or Richmond Row?
Richmond Row.
Beauty. Congratulations. Congratulations. Andrew, thank you so much for taking the time, dude. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I appreciate you having me. This is so rad. I was so cheesed I didn't get to make it to the jock one. I would listen to it. I was like, are they talking bad about me? I listened to the whole thing.
I remember that
They're
afterwards.
just ripping on you. Yeah.
I remember that afterwards. You were like, I just wanted to be this. It's so crabby. Yeah. No, so that's why I remember saying at the time, I was like, no, man, we're saving an episode for you. So don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Real. But yeah, thank you again, guys. I'll plug you guys. I hope everyone listening, keep listening to this podcast. It's rad. They always have dope people on. So even when it's my band, when I'm not there. But yeah, no, just keep supporting London small businesses. Just London in general. It's a good city. Every city has their problems, but I think that London has a good mindset for fixing some of those problems. So yeah, I'm happy to be in London.
It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Hey,
that's pretty cool. Yo, I'm Drives the Common Man, previously known as Andrew Joseph Stevens III, and keep watching London's Pretty Cool podcast.
Yeah. That was awesome.